Today on the 01581, a conversation about the library repair project and some upcoming events at the library. Hi, and welcome to this episode of the 01581 Let's Talk. I'm Shelby Marshall. I'm the host of this show. I serve as your select board and offer this show in sort of that capacity, trying to bring forward interesting topics that are certainly relevant to our residents and businesses, because you're all taxpayers and the town doesn't work without your support. As well as to connect you with people that you need to know and understand what's going on in town. So today on the show, we're going to talk about the library repair project. I would imagine many of the viewers out there are familiar with this initiative. It's been a topic of conversation for a while. And I'm joined today by guest Ed Baldwin. Ed is a long-standing member of the library trustees. He's actually up for re-election this year along with two other members. And he's also serving as the Library Building Committee Chair, so hence why he's the guest today. And also joined by Kate Coraccio. She's our Library Director, and Kate has been on the show before, actually not too long ago last year, introducing her as our new Library Director. So I'm excited to welcome both to the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Excited. So got a couple things we'll talk about today, the library repair project, as well as just events going on at the library. So Ed, we'll start with you. Where's the repair project at? What details can you share with the public, and what can they anticipate for upcoming annual town meeting?
Let me start by what we're trying to do with this repair project. And there's the slide here.
Yeah.
First off, the library, the front half was built in 1908, so it's pretty old. The back half was built in 1980, so it's also pretty old, not quite so far. And some of the systems are just breaking down. The one that I think Kate notices the most is the roof. Mm-hmm. When it rains, they have to put buckets out. The HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system is parts of it are on its last legs. I think they get something failing about once a month. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, have you had to shut the library down for one of those, I think?
We did. We had one of our fan coil units basically break and flood part of both floors of the library. So we did have to shut down for that.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, one of those same units caught fire.
Yes.
So, so the
duct tape is no longer working.
No, and we have 14 other of those same units in the library.
All ready to go, all the same age.
Right.
So, so we need to do those repairs, and that costs money. And the way the building codes work, if you spend X amount of money, then you have to comply with a whole bunch of building codes and disabilities codes and so on. And we do have to spend that much money. We looked into that. And so A, we have to, and B, there are disabled citizens and residents in Westborough. We don't want to shut them out of the library. Right. Right now, the library doesn't have a fire suppression system. That's something we'll have to add. But
that's interesting.
There's flammable stuff in libraries. It just comes with the territory. So I sort of talk about we have to comply with these codes, and we do. But it's also the smart thing to do to protect the library, protect our investment, protect our residents.
Absolutely.
And then, if we're doing all that, we'll be in there tearing up the ceilings to put in the fire suppression. I want to take a step back. If the town votes for this in March, then we're going to do it.
Right.
So, I'm
nothing happens without a town vote.
So I'm talking as though it's going to happen, but I recognize it might not, which is a scary prospect for me personally. But anyway, so we're making some changes, not repairs, but just to improve the library's programs and functions and things that are relatively cheap and easy and make sense. We're not changing the footprint of the library. The biggest one is removing the teen area, which right now is on either side of the front door as you walk in. Giving the teens their own private room It's back toward the back, and restoring those front rooms to their earlier functions, reading rooms and book
Sure.
displays and so on. I think everybody will be happy about that.
Yeah, that's been a source of feedback.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I think like anything, we try things, and I think that in many ways that has worked very well to serve the teens. Maybe not so well for some of our more adult populations, or our adult population. But you try things and then, you know, you shake them up, right? And
Yeah.
so it's not to say that it hasn't worked. I think that just, you know, like
Yeah.
anything, when you're doing this kind of work, and I know it's repair, but you know, it's a smart thing to look at how we're using the space.
That's
right?
what we're trying to do,
yeah,
is be smart
absolutely.
about all
Yep,
of this.
yep.
And
And plan for the future,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, so we're upgrading all the digital infrastructure and the electronic
Much
electrical
needed.
infrastructure, which is very, hopefully we won't have a rat's nest of cables anymore.
Yeah.
At least a more organized rat's nest.
Yeah.
The meeting room in the basement is going to be vastly upgraded. It'll have AV capabilities, sort of like what you have here, I think.
Yeah.
And we're creating some more meeting rooms and study spaces. So I think it's a good amount of upgrade without changing, like I said, changing the
Yeah.
footprint or making major changes to the layout.
Okay.
And then underlying all those, we want to do it in a cost-effective way. So that it's, you know, it's our money, it's the town's money.
Yep.
And I pay taxes. We
Yep.
don't want to pay any more than
Right.
needed, but we do want to have. I want to have a functioning library.
Well, and you want to make, you know, I think that, look, no one wants their taxes to go up, period, right? If we're going to make an investment, we want to know that it's been done in a smart way, in a dedicated way, and you guys have been at this and at this for a long time. You took the feedback of the taxpayers very seriously at prior
Yeah.
town meetings. You looked at that cost effectiveness, as well as you know, we don't want to just do like a Band-Aid approach, but you want to kind of make an investment again for that future. And I think that you've done that with I'm going to call it the lowest entry model, if you
Yeah,
will,
yeah.
with a slight bolt on.
Right.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
We back early on in the process, the architect worked out 4 scenarios ranging from just do the absolute minimum, and then so we basically took that plus some improvements
Right.
that made sense to us. And so that's why we're doing all this.
Yep.
And what we're trying to achieve.
Sure.
So where we are now, the designs are complete.
Okay.
The bid packages are complete. So
Yeah. How does that work? Explain to folks.
First off, the whole process, it's heavily regulated by the state at the state level. So there is a way to do this that we have to do.
Right.
And what that is you put together bid packages. We're doing design, bid, build, where we hire the architect and they design something. They detail it all out. There's hundreds of pages of specifications. I say that, I haven't actually looked or counted. There's a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's being put together to something that is, the announcements are online now. I'm not sure whether the packages are actually downloadable by any contractors who might be interested, but they're very close to that. So that bidding process is underway. By mid-February, I think February 22nd, we'll have those bids back.
Okay.
And then we'll know the construction cost, which is like 60 or 70% of the total cost of the library. I should say that bid process, we put it out for bid, and it's complicated.
Are we doing construction management at risk?
No, we're actually
not.
the design bid build.
Okay. And can you just briefly explain the difference?
The design bid build, an architect designs it, you make all those drawings, you send them out, you get the bid. And the contractor builds what you designed. And if there's any changes, it'll be a change order and we have to pay extra. So it's very important to get the design right up front.
Right.
And I think we've done that
Yep.
to the extent that no humans are perfect.
Sure. And the difference.
The difference, so
we
the
did
other is construction
fails.
manager's risk.
Yeah, fails was a
CM
CMR.
at
Right.
CM
Right.
at risk.
Right.
And with that, it's you bring you bring the contractors in early.
Right.
So they're working with the design, they buy into the design, they're looking for problems because they know they're going to have to build it later on.
Yep, yep.
And the feeling that the philosophy is that you can save costs by finding problems up front because you
Sure.
have this extra pair of expert eyes. The guys who are actually going to have to build it are looking at it.
Right, right.
I say guys, the companies.
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
sorry. But our consultants and Bob Petruccelli, who's been deeply involved in this historically, felt back when that this project is straightforward and well-defined, and that the design bid process
Yeah.
is the way to go, and it would probably save us about 10% on the overall cost.
Yeah, and there are pros and cons to each of those
Absolutely.
approaches, and one is not always right for the other, for every project, for sure. So, okay, so design bid build, mid to late February, bids come back.
Right.
And do they come back as a total, so it's a construction company bidding for all the subs, or multiple bids on the project?
So, as I understand it, so there's a whole bunch of subcontractors, and they do file sub bids.
Sub bids, yep.
And I think that the contractors decide who among that group they want to work with.
Okay.
And so they tend to pick the lowest cost ones because they want to put together the lower bid.
Right.
So those filed sub bids add up to about 60-odd% of the construction cost.
Sure.
And we'll get those in early February. So that'll give us a really good idea on whether our cost estimates are on track.
Right. What happens to the other 40 to 30%? So you've referenced 60 to 70% so
well,
far.
some of it is stuff that's not an official trade that has to file a sub bid.
Okay.
And that's by far the bulk of it. And then there's stuff that's just the contractor, organizing things, and they make some money on it. So,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what the split is in there, but like electrical is a filed sub bid.
Right. Well, and where I was going, and let me be more specific, is there are professional services. So we have a owner's project manager.
Absolutely.
We have an architect. They're going to be with this project, and the owner's project manager, just for everyone's benefit, is really sort of the town's eyes and ears with the technical expertise to make sure that the project, and they worked hand in glove with the architect, so I don't want to exclude them. They're very much a part of the Westborough town team. They make sure that the project is on schedule, being done as designed, and so on and so forth. They're alerting folks on the library building committee to, when we get to that point, do we have a problem here, and how are we going to address it, and if there needs to be a change order, what's the scope of magnitude, so on and so forth. So they're very much they're our allies for
They're
they're
the guys who are on our side. That's their job, is to make sure we spend the money we spend gets used effectively.
Right. And according to the regulations,
according to the laws and all that.
Right.
They will actually have somebody on site full time during construction.
Sure. Okay.
I think they have their own trailer.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't know the actual cost. Do we have a about number?
The about number is 14 million.
Okay.
Which is right in the ballpark of what we forecast last March.
Yep.
And I hope, I need some wood to knock on here for this.
Yeah, this is solid wood right here.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
I hope it's going to go down because I hope the bids are going to come in a little under what the cost estimators said. We've heard rumors that that's what's happening in the marketplace. And that 14 million assumes 600,000+ to fit out the temporary library.
Yep.
And it's not going to cost that much. We're not going to let it cost that much.
Right.
So, but we don't have we haven't designed that yet.
Yep.
And that'll be one of our priorities.
And will the architects that we're working with design that, or is that
they will definitely be looking at it. It probably will be them because they're so familiar with the whole with everything.
the team and and what our system and all that. Okay, great. And is there anything else you wanted to kind of update on the library, maybe the timeline of the project?
The timeline, if you could switch to the timeline slide.
I think.
Oh, there it is, other way.
There we go. Yep.
So we are, if you see the orange town outreach box.
Okay. Yep.
That's where we are.
That's where we are.
Reaching out right now.
Right now.
We're
Here we
at
are.
the yellow.
And so at the end of March, we'll have the vote to fund the project budget, and either we will get that approval or we won't. And then we'll start construction.
Sure.
We expect 2 months to move out to relocate to the temporary library,
Okay.
which I should say is the community center,
Yeah, I was going to, thank you for mentioning that.
and a year to do the work,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2 more months to move back.
Okay,
And we're sort of allocating 18 months,
sure.
but because things sometimes go wrong.
Yep.
We don't want that to happen. but
Yep, that's the way construction projects go. You
Yeah.
run into things. So, and this will, because there's a borrow, it will require a 2/3 majority,
That's correct.
right? Okay, so there will be other presentations about this project as part of the preparation of the annual town meeting warrant. So folks that are interested in following what's happening at town meeting, even more specifically this project, you'll want to tune in. All of the library building committee meetings are public meetings, right?
That is correct.
Right? Folks can, and do you hold those remotely, Ed?
They are remote, so
Okay.
they're all recorded actually. If you go to the town's agenda center
Yep.
and look at the agenda, there's links to where the agendas are, which is, you already knew that.
Yep,
but-
yep.
And also to a site where all the stuff is stored, the recordings and whatever supporting documents
Okay,
and things. So
great.
if people are interested in
Digging in. Yep.
digging in,
Great.
there's plenty to dig into.
Yep, excellent.
But that's one of my personal goals is I want to be very upfront about the whole process.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, they're really, when we get to town meeting, right, ideally, I mean, not that everyone has like hours of time and or interest to invest, right? But town meeting, certainly there's an opportunity for discussion. That's the point of kind of debate and discussion that's inherent in our model. But there shouldn't be any surprises, right?
Right.
So I know, I've been a trustee, I know that when we as a select board bring something forward, we want to make sure we fully vetted things. Not to say that town meeting is a rubber stamp. That's not what I'm saying.
believe me.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
But that you feel like, hey, we've addressed all the
Right.
issues on the project or the taxpayer concern or whatever to the best of our ability.
Right.
There are going to be those that questions that come up that may be a little bit sideways, but that is why all of these meetings are public, why we do it the way we do it.
We want to do our homework. We want anybody
Yeah,
who looks to
absolutely.
know we've done our
Yep,
homework.
absolutely.
And then, something I realized long ago is, it's very hard to change something at town meeting. You can vote it up or down.
Yeah.
But if you want to, adjust things, you got to get involved earlier.
Yeah, absolutely,
So.
absolutely. Okay, good. Ed, thank you for that update. All right, great.
Thank
So
you.
we're going to pivot to not just the future of the library, but present day, mixed in maybe a little bit with the future. So, Kate,
Yeah.
what's happening at the library?
We've got a lot of really exciting things happening at the library. Obviously, now I'm settling into the role, getting to know the community a little bit better, and starting to get a lot more involved in the things that we're doing. And obviously, the repair project is kind of a huge part of that. But we've got a couple of really exciting things going on.
Sure.
A couple of things I just wanted to throw out is one of the things that we're always looking at, because we're librarians, is we love statistics, we love numbers, we love tracking everything.
Yeah.
It's a passion. But I really thought that as we kind of look at the calendar year 2024, taking a pause and looking at how have we done, what value added are we bringing to the community? And one of the things we looked at is just strict borrows, right?
Okay.
All of the materials that people borrow from our library, if they didn't have us to borrow and they bought the items instead, it would have cost our community over $3.4 million, which is an incredible amount of money,
Sure.
considering our municipal budget is hovering around 1.4 million.
Yeah.
And so that's more than double, and that's just book and material borrows. That doesn't factor in use of our space, our incredible knowledge that our
gonna
staff brings
say,
to the
yeah.
table, programming, events, access to computers, access to hotspots and our Wi-Fi, and all of the incredible things that we offer at our library every day. And so this is what gets me excited about libraries, is just how much we're able to offer community for
Across
everyone.
I was going to say across a really wide span of from museum passes to, you mentioned, hotspots, to traditional materials, to audiobooks, to games. I mean, just it's broad.
Yeah,
So,
we run the gamut.
Yeah, you do.
A whole bunch of stuff. And always looking for new and what's next.
In
what
addition to
people want.
programming, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so I really loved that number. It was great to see, to kind of put a return on investment number on that. Just, we're always trying to be good stewards of taxpayer money. We understand how privileged we are to be a funded library and to be able to offer all of these things to our amazing community.
Right.
And I just love that we're also measuring it in Dunkin's coffee cups.
I love
right?
that.
47,000 medium Dunkin' coffee cups in New England measurements, which I think
have
we're all
to ask,
familiar with.
Is that a stacking or is
Yes.
that a money?
That's
number?
stacking.
It's stacking. Okay.
Stacking.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Okay, because I think it ties into the little one there.
does.
That's great. Wow.
But yeah,
Okay.
I just thought that was amazing. And then I wanted to mention, as we're heading into Repair Project, one of the things that we have to remember is that we've got a really incredible Friends of the Library group that hold book sales for us every month, and they make it possible to do the museum passes and to do all the programming that we're doing. And they just really deserve all the credit in the world. They're amazing. But we also have another group, which is our Westborough Public Library Foundation, who the last time we were talking about this project, and this time as well, they are also committed to raising money to help offset the costs here for our repair project.
Okay.
And so one of the first kind of events they're doing in this round is they're putting on, it's actually a partnership between our friends and our foundation.
Great.
Which is amazing to see, is our mini golf in the library event. And this year we're doing it a little bit differently because we're involving our foundation, and I think it's going to be really a lot of fun. So Friday, January 31st at 6:30, it's going to be an adults-only 21-plus event, a really great date night,
Okay.
a great night out without kids. Get your friends together and come and have some fun at the library. We're going to have, appetizers. We're just gonna live music. It's gonna be a really fun event and fundraiser for the foundation.
Great.
So that will be a lot of fun. We'll have 18 holes of mini golf all throughout the library. Get to experience the space, which will be a lot of fun.
Great.
And then the next day, which is February 1st, we're going across months. Will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. will be a free family fun event. Bring the kids, come on down,
For
play
that
mini golf.
Awesome.
All day and just
great.
have a really great time.
Great. Well, maybe some of those teen volunteers
Oh.
can watch the kids on Friday night, right? Because
amazing.
so
Yeah.
so the parents can get out. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
great. Love that you're bringing the mini golf back in a certainly for the. I feel like we've been doing this for a couple of years now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at least 5, and now expanding that to a fundraiser. That's great.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a great opportunity for me to meet a lot of people that I haven't had the chance to meet yet. So
Sure.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And do folks need to sign up for the Friday night event?
So if you go to our website, westboroughlibrary.org, there's all the information on it. It's also on our event calendar, and you can also find it through the foundation Facebook, all the social medias. So it is ticketed. You can buy your tickets there. You can buy them day of if you'd like.
Always helpful from a planning perspective. Like if
know.
you're planning to go, like buy the ticket in advance so they know what to kind of expect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Excellent. Ed and Kate, this has been certainly informative to me, I think, as well to our viewers. If there are any questions, can you just restate the Westborough Library page? Like, where can they find information on both the kind of activities as well as the project?
So everything's on our website, westboroughlibrary.org. Right on the front page, you'll see a big button for Repair Project, and that has the landing
can't miss
page.
it.
You can't miss
Okay.
it. With a whole bunch of information on the Library Repair Project, including all of the documents that Ed mentioned. So you can get there as well, and from the Agenda Center on the Westborough website, and all the information for us is there as well.
Okay, and there's an events tab or a calendar?
Events tab, and I think right on the front.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show.
for having us.
It's great
folks,
talking with you.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the 01581 Let's Talk. Appreciate your interest in what's going on in the community, and hopefully this segment and future and past bring value to you. Thanks so much. Have a great day.